Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to Matrix Study Hall. I am Miss Oracle, and I want to go ahead and give thanks to all of you that are new here and my returning subscribers, sending so much love your way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give thanks to the Most High Creator, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, before I get into this rundown in regard to the Diva deceptions when it comes to the series. Now we're going to be focusing on just three here. The first one is Sisters. The middle picture I have is called Queens, and then the last one is called P-Valley. All right, so the problem that and let's just go ahead and be real with it. The problem with this type of content that is out here is that it is very omnious. Okay, omnious in a sense that it is to kind of feed into our mentality that representation is here. Okay, we have sisters. Okay, we have queens. We have P-Valley. Well, we have these forms of representation to make it appear as if we're, actually highlighting the lives and, relationships between women from different socioeconomic levels, different complexions, all this stuff that is a need within our communities. However, why I call this the Diva deceptions is because if you ever took the time to try to support these particular series or watch them, for me personally, it caused more harm than good watching these things, because although it can be a form of entertainment, what I really believe is that it is a form of being deceived, because a lot of the storylines, although a lot of it is true to life, some of these things actually happen within people's lives, it is a lot of projecting negativity, a lot of tolerance of disrespect, and even disrespect amongst each other. And I'm seeing a lot of this also play out in relationships between women in general. And even as I focus on, for instance, let's go to, let me pick one. Let's go to sisters first and foremost. Although this is supposed to be about women's relationships, there is a heavy focus on relationships that are a part of the Rainbow Coalition. You get my drift? And a lot of that too is you're seeing a lot of disrespect when it comes between the relationships between the women, and they bond over not only spreading rumors and gossip about each other, they also tolerate a lot of disrespect from those of the rainbow community projected onto each other. And I'm like, wow, this is mass propaganda. Now let's move on to Queens. Now, and I didn't watch all these series in, all the complete series. I watched them just enough because at one point I used to think like, okay, I want to see, content with my sisters on it. And when I began watching this stuff, it's just like, it's giving me a headache. It's making me feel disgusted, making me feel grossed out. I'm like, no, something's wrong. This stuff is definitely programming us towards dysfunction and really being hive-minded, okay, operating with negativity as if it's normal. They're really psychologically normalizing this dysfunction. And so another thing I noticed in regard to the next series, which is called Queens, was that although the premise sound pretty good, I can't remember the exact term they were called, bitches or something like they had another term that they were calling themselves before calling themselves queens, and it was more of the same type of tropes, stereotypes, a lot of infighting, dysfunctional relationships, and the whole gamut. Now moving on to P-Valley. Now P-Valley to me is straight from the pits of hell. It is really grotesque to the point where not only do they have men that are pretending to be women denigrate them, they're also putting certain scenes in there that I'm like, this is just too much for me. And to each his own. But when you're putting content out here that is supposed to be about a certain demographic, it is really, it is to the point where our people are so desensitized, and people in general, that they think that this level of depravity and dysfunction is normal, and it's not. Another real insidious thing that I saw on a few episodes I saw P Valley was how there was a lot of discord between the mother and the daughter. There was a mother and daughter that actually had a fight on this series, and they even had a mother that would bring her baby to the strip club while she performed. And again, there was a whole host of dysfunction that was on a whole nother level, and there should be more outrage about these things. But again, many people are lulled into the sleep-like state of just being not only tolerant but entertained by dysfunction and depravity. And as a woman of a certain age, people within my age group, for the most part, they're indoctrinated. They believe a lot of this content that's out here is not only acceptable, it is just entertainment, but they don't realize that entertainment can be very detrimental. And in fact, it is causing more of the hurt and the harm to our communities than they even realize. It is a mass level of propaganda that is put out here in order to pacify us and keep us in a sleep-like state. And, these things are evident of the sign of the times that we're in. We are definitely in a time where, things have really taken a downturn. And for us to be women that were once heralded as the epitome, okay, we are supposed to be the first people, the first women, and for us to at one point be really upheld for being modest and having integrity, and having values and morals, now we're being put in a position where we're engaging and incentivized to really destroy ourselves in the name of fame, fortune, in the name of notoriety. All right, so to me, I don't think that it's cool to allow ourselves to really be pimped out, because that's really what it is. And it is not a coincidence that a lot of the content that is major involves us being denigrated or pimped out in some capacity. It's really filled at this point. And although we would like to see ourselves represented in different forms of media, at what point do we realize that, okay, this is not the type of representation? I would rather not see us being represented in this type of media if it's keeping us in a very low or the lowest vibrations, if at all possible. I've been, holding out on really sharing my perspective in regard to this content, but the Most High God has been guiding me to go ahead and share my perspective, because this is utter madness and confusion. And these people are incentivized with the highest amounts of money in order to do the very lowest of things. So this is why a lot of backwardness and bastardness is happening in society. I say bastardness because how can you expect people, or males or females, to respect their mother and father figures if we're seen as the lowest of the low? If we are entertained by the lowest of the low, it's hypocritical, and it is a walking, talking contradiction. And so, again, I used to, at times, especially in my age group, if you're bonding with other people, other females in particular, if you're not aware of the trending shows, okay, it's like you're kind of out of the loop. So in order to kind of see what is popular, what is the entertainment, what are the girls watching, the girls are watching a lot of filth, and this is evident why a lot of people are behaving in a very filthy manner. So it's time. God has called us to be set apart. Okay, we are in the world but not to be of the world, and it is a measure of preserving yourself, preserving your sanity, preserving your integrity, to be careful and mindful of what it is we're allowing in our minds, what it is that we're allowing in our eyes and our heart. Okay, the eyes are the window to the soul. And so I definitely understand why there's a lot of people that are having lives that are just straight up dysfunctional, traumatic, because a lot of them are operating on a subconscious level by the things that they have been taken in. The same things that they're thinking, oh, it's just entertainment. Well, then you become the entertainment as well. These same things happen. I mean, we see these things in the news and in social media all the time. And so it comes a point where you have to realize that, okay, for instance, if you're eating certain things and it's causing you to feel sick or you're not doing well, okay, well, I need to check what I'm eating. So if you're seeing certain things happen in your life, you may need to check, okay, what is it that I'm viewing that I'm now seeing this actually appear in my life? So that's just something I just wanted to share, my little thoughts, and why it's important to be separate from this world. Okay, save your soul, save yourself. Until next time, I am Miss Oracle with Matrix Study Hall. Bye, y'all.